Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful May day. The high here is supposed to be 80 degrees today, and sunny skies. No cloud in the sky this morning. And I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to come out here and show you my beautiful hydrangeas. They are blooming, and I'm just so excited. Since last year, I didn't get to see any of these. And I think the kitties are going to be joining me this morning. Right, Princess? Right, Luigi? Yeah? You coming? So we got some garden buddies with us today. Here is Nantucket Blue, looking absolutely gorgeous. These plants, or shrubs I should say, are, gosh, they're what, about 7 years old? Excuse me. I think they're about 7 years old, right? I think that's about right. It was one of the first things that I planted when we moved in here. And I loved them so much that when we built the pool, I had them like corner this whole space off, and I said, don't touch this. So we kept all of this. This is really like the first area that we planted up when we moved here in 2015. And you know what? I've got some pictures from when we first moved in, and I will try and find those pictures and put them in this video so you can see how much everything has changed back here since 2015. But the pool was actually built in 2019. So, but still lots of changes over the years. This right here is Big Daddy hydrangea. And this is one of my favorite hydrangeas, and it loves this spot. It gets a lot of good sun in mid-afternoon, and so it just blooms its socks off. I mean, look at all these blooms that are going to open up soon. So pretty. And such a pretty color. Just a tinge of blue. And then there's a whole bunch of blooms down here at the bottom. And you could barely see my begonia, but it's pushing through. So pretty. Well, there's a lot of construction going around us this morning. There's a pool being built in the house, the newer house that's back behind our property. So you're going to hear some construction noise over there. And then there's also a pool being built 3 doors down that way. So we are somewhat surrounded by construction noise. Hopefully you can't hear it as easily as I can, but just wanted to let you know that's what that is. It's going to be a great day for the kids to get in the pool today. Here I've got the original Endless Summer hydrangeas. covered in bloom. Hey, buddy. Hey, sweet boy. Hydrangeas make me so happy. I absolutely love them. Oh, and here is a very special hydrangea that's just starting to bloom. I keep forgetting the name of this one, but I feel like it's fairy tale something. I can't remember, but it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. That's a little... must have fallen off a tree. Such a pretty hydrangea though. And I've got it in a pot, so it's a little bit elevated. Here's another Endless Summer Original. Excuse me, my voice is a little scratchy this morning. And I've been doing my best to keep this pool clean. Goodness, we've had a lot of windstorms coming through in the past week, and it has been hard to keep everything clean back here. The begonias are doing great. I am loving them so much. And Zaid is blooming beautifully over here. Still having trouble with the fountain. Lots and lots of pretty blooms. I finally got the obelisks in these big pots for Star of the Republic rose, which has just been growing like crazy. And then I also got one over here for, this rose is called Adam, and it's a tea rose. And it does have one little bloom on the bottom here. I have not seen this one bloom yet, so I'm very excited to see that one come out. And then look at all this new basil growth down here. 3 new canes. How exciting is that? And then right now, the woodland garden is just looking spectacular. Look at the nice green grass. It is growing so well. The rose garden is definitely in a lull. There's a few blooms here and there, But I do need to come in and prune and do some weeding. The Eden roses have definitely gone past their prime. Looking quite ugly right now. But Soul Sister Sunbelt, my goodness, look at this, guys. Still going strong. So very pretty. But yeah, this time of year is when I have to work on getting everything pruned, and the roses start looking a little ratty-tatty. Oh, as you can see, I pruned back Pompanella. That was just a beast. My goodness. But I cut her back, so she's a little bit more tame now. Hopefully we'll get another flush of blooms once she grows out a bit more. But yeah, this time of year, after the first flush, the rose garden does not look very desirable. So I just want y'all to know the reality of the situation, that not everything always looks perfect, you know? Because sometimes I'll get a lot of comments of like, how does everything look so perfect and beautiful? Well, it's because it's the first flush of roses. And everything looks good when it's the first flush. After the first flush, then you start to see more black spot, and you start to see more insect damage and those kinds of things. Here's Rosemantic Cream. Well, I'm trying to get it to focus. There we go. And in fact, I'll probably be coming in here and cutting this rose back just a little bit, because the blooms are a little tattered and aged, and it could probably use a little trimming up. Same thing for Sweet Mademoiselle. It's really growing up big time. And I need to come in here and clean up some of the black spot leaves, but I'm just gonna wait for these to finish blooming out. There's Sweet Mademoiselle, and I think I see my first Japanese beetle. Yep. There's the first one. Ugh, the first of many. It's May 30th, so there's a reason that they're called June bugs. They usually come out in June. But the woodland garden is looking great. We had some very nice teenage boys come in and weed all along here for us yesterday. They're still working on it. Haven't finished yet, but oh my goodness, it looks so much better already. It was really, really, really bad all in here, but at least we can see the ferns now, which is nice. And over here, I've got some more Nantucket Blue hydrangeas. It's nice to see these blooming again. And then down in here, still a bit weedy, but we've got some oak leaf hydrangeas. So I wanted to sneak back in here and get a close-up of these pretty blooms. Aren't those beautiful? Now, I don't recall what variety this is. What are you doing, silly? Silly boy. I don't recall what variety this is, but it is a pretty one. I really need to put another one right here. That way it's kind of evened out a bit. And here is my section where I have all of my citrus trees. And I won't go over here too far because there is a yellow jacket's nest, so I don't want to get stung. But the raspberries are starting to ripen, which is exciting. And they taste so good. Oh my gosh. I have to eat some more. These are so delicious. So, so good. I have to come back and get some more later. As you can see, everything over here, the hydrangeas have gotten huge. This is the biggest they've ever been. We should be seeing some blooms on those. Usually the limelights start blooming in July. Wow, those are really good. Oh, and look, blueberries too. I think I'm gonna try one. Yep, those are good. Delicious. Wow. There is nothing like homegrown blueberries and raspberries. But here we've got Invincibelle Sublime, which is looking gorgeous. Definitely one of my favorite arborescens hydrangeas is the Sublime. And we just recently planted all these hostas to keep that chartreuse color going down the path. And then these hydrangeas are called Invincibelle Wee White, which they're supposed to stay on the smaller side. So we'll see if they truly do end up staying small. We're hoping once we get back from vacation, we can get this area mulched. Those teenage boys are going to help us out with that, which I'm very happy to have some help. But that'll help everything show up a little bit better back in here. And then as you can see, we got this whole area weeded in here as well. We kind of forgot about this little spot right there. That needs to be pulled up too. Well, here's the pretty foxgloves. I decided to put them right along the path. I thought they would look really pretty. Right up close where you can see them. And we planted a whole bunch of ferns right in here. And then as you can see, the rock around the rock area, this was like all around the rock, it was a bunch of weeds. And so I went and got some Sem's Beauty oak leaf hydrangeas. I got 3 of those and planted them right here. And then I've got 3 ruby slippers oak leaf hydrangeas right in here. So I'm hoping those will fill in, get nice and big, and hopefully deter most of the weeds from growing in the future. And here are my favorite pop star hydrangeas. Looking beautiful. Oh boy, what are you? Silly boy. What were you thinking about, jumping over her or something? What was that all about? Silly. But these are so pretty. Really, I'm really enjoying these this year. Everything is looking great in here. Just gotta get some mulch down. Oh boy, here they go. But yesterday we got all this cleaned out, and I got these Sum and Substance hostas planted here. Really looking forward to seeing those get nice and big. I've heard they're one of the biggest hostas you can get. And so I'm really hoping what these will eventually look like. I'm hoping they will eventually look like this grouping over here. So I think that with the location they're in, they get a good amount of sun, and if I fertilize them well, then I think they're going to do great. Now I know hostas prefer shade, but some actually do pretty well in the sun as well. And the reason I say that is because these over here get a lot of sun, and they're massive, they're huge. So I think there is some aspect of it where hostas need some sun in order to grow beautifully. Here we've got Perfume of Dark Desire still pumping out blooms. And then look at that bright pop of red over there. That's Florentina Arbor Rose. And here's Black Caviar. Oops. Come on. See if I can get a nice little shot of Florentina open for you. Isn't that so pretty? I'm very happy with this rose. It is growing very well in this area, doing much better than Red Eden did. I mean, it's already grown all the way up to here. So that's super exciting. But yeah, it's doing much better than Eden did. right, let's go around to the front and I'll show you what's going on up there. All right, so here we are in the front garden, and I really am just so happy with how this extension of the bed, or I guess the joining of the two beds together, has turned out. To me, it actually flows so much better and it doesn't feel so chopped up. And I really, really like how it has turned out. So this front bed here has white drift roses planted up front. And then in the center, I've got mostly Francis Maillard. There are 10 Francis Maillard planted here all the way through. And then I do have a few Grace Rose Farm roses that I did receive planted in here. There's Unforgettable, Pink O'Hara, White O'Hara is on this side here. And then I don't know what happened with Grace Rose, but they just stopped shipping roses and I'm still missing 4. But what I decided to do is bring up the amazing Grace Roses that I have in the back. There's 3, 1, 2, 3, and those have really beautiful blooms. And so I just decided to fill the rest of the space in with the amazing Grace Roses, which are really, really beautiful. And they're going to complement the Francis Maillard roses nicely. But most of the roses in this grouping are pink or white or this like peachy apricot color, which this one right here is called Apricots and Cream, which I just absolutely adore. It's a really pretty rose. You can see some of the white drift roses are actually reverting to what looks like sweet drift. Isn't that interesting? I've got this one here is reverting, and it looks like this one here. Oh, and then that one has a pink bloom too. Hopefully they won't all revert. I probably should cut that out. But I'm really loving this sea of white roses. It's so, so pretty. And then Francis Maillard is doing great too. This is going to fill in really, really nicely over the next couple of years. And as you can see, Cinderella Fairy Tale is still blooming. Definitely need to come in here and deadhead. Lion's Fairy Tale needs deadheading, and so does Poseidon. And here is Summer Romance. I love Summer Romance so much. It just has such a beautiful shape. It's a beautifully shaped shrub. Traviata needs cutting back. Marilyn Monroe. And so does Sweet Mademoiselle, but it's still got blooms on it. Everything needs a good pruning, and my Valencia rose is not doing so hot. Not sure if that one's gonna make it. But everything's growing nicely. It just needs a good trim back. Here's Ascot. And the gardenias smell so good right now. This is my one gardenia bush that blooms and does really well. And over here, there's lots of daylilies blooming. And Miranda Lambert has a really pretty little group of roses that are blooming right now. Just sticking way up there. But everything's nice and green, doing great. Just need to come in and do some weeding. The daylilies look great. All these roses, Sweet Baby is doing really, really well. Still looking so green and lush. And look at this massive phantom hydrangea. It's going to be blooming soon. And strawberry vanilla is looking great too. Olivia, not looking so good. Definitely gonna have to cut that one back, I think. Oh, look at this sweet little bee. This daylily is called Orchid Waterfall. And then we've got some which are these called? Invincibelle. I forget. They're an arborescence hydrangea though. And they're doing pretty good here too. Let's go over on this side, and then we will have completed the full garden tour this morning. Everything's looking great over here. Look at these massive sage bushes. The bees and the hummingbirds just love them. And all these hydrangeas are doing great too. Oh, here's my, I think these are called blue-eyed baby daylilies, or lavender blue baby, that's what they are. Aren't those pretty with the color of Sweet Mademoiselle? I love that color combo. And I believe this daylily is called Barbara Mitchell, if I remember correctly. Everything's looking really nice and green over here. I do need to fertilize everything. It's definitely time, but I really need to prune, then fertilize. But everything is really looking good over here. I usually tend to struggle with this area, but this year it's actually looking very nice. And all these are pretty old roses here. They're looking pretty tattered. This is Golden Fairy Tale. All right, let's go walk down the side path. All the ferns are looking so healthy and green. And this shrub here, it's a type of magnolia. That's the best it's ever looked. And it's probably been in the ground like 3 years. But I'm really happy with how this has all turned out. There's still a few blooms left on Pompanella. The azaleas definitely need to be cut back. They're kind of growing into the path here. Yeah, I'm so glad that I planted more ferns in here. It definitely just fills in everything and makes it look super lush and beautiful. And the hydrangeas seem to be recovering, but they just have never done very well in this space, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just too much shade and not enough water, because this area up until the spring did not get any irrigation, but we ended up switching out the sprayers, and now the water goes across the path, so all of this can get water. And then here is my Annabelle path, which the Annabelles are looking really beautiful right now. And I'm honestly surprised that nothing has flopped yet, because we've had some pretty hard rains, and typically they flop real quick, but they're holding up. Holding up this year. I don't know why. Not sure what we did different. Very, very pretty with the hostas and the hydrangeas, or I mean the ferns and the hostas, the whole combination. And this hosta is just gorgeous. I love this blue one. I wonder if this is Blue Angel. I hope it is, because I planted a couple more. I really like this one. lots of just pretty plant combinations in here. And I love how they've all grown in together. Very happy with how this has turned out. This section, I think we did this area of the garden about 5 years ago, and the stone path just went down last year. So really happy with how this has turned out over time, especially looking out through the gate. It's so pretty. Thank you guys so much for joining me on my garden tour today. I hope that you found something beautiful that you love, something to inspire you that you can grow in your own garden. And I just wish you the happiest week to come, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.